It's the Orioles on Masson and WJZ. It is Manny Machado Garden Gnome Day here at the ballpark. Big crowd on hand. It is hazy, hot, and humid, and the middle game of this three-game series against the Los Angeles Angels. And hi, everyone. I'm Jim Hunter. Every baseball game, every team has the same goal: outscore their opponent. You do that more times than not, you're going to have a good year. Now, the Orioles, for the most part, have done that. They are third in the league in runs scored, and of course, lead the major leagues in home runs. But the separator from the Orioles versus most other lineups is their balance. This team is deep, and they get it done anywhere in the lineup. And when you look at the run production, this team is better than any in the major leagues. The Orioles have 5 regulars with more than 50 RBIs, led by Mark Trumbo with 67. Chris Davis has 56. Manny Machado and Adam Jones at 53. And Jonathan Scope has joined the group. He has 51. More players with 50 RBIs than any team in baseball, and the most prior to the All-Star break in the franchise since 1996. And Mike Bordick, when you have that kind of balance and you have that power up and down, you're not out of any game, and usually you can set the tone.
Yeah, you're not. And this is the dream lineup for Buck Showalter. He's always talked about having the big, strong, hairy guys. Well, he's got them right now. They do it all, really. I mean, not only are they driving in runs, they're getting on base better than they ever have since Buck has been here. They're hitting their home runs, clutch with runners in scoring position. They're scoring runs. I mean, this group of players, they're out there every day. Adam Jones, Machado, Scope, Trumbo. I mean, these are the guys this team counts on, and they are raising the bar for themselves and this whole team, and it's been fun to watch.
And their phrase this year is pass the baton, and this depth is an example of that. It doesn't matter who gets it done. Last night, they scored 5 runs. Most nights, that's enough to win. Angels scored 9, but pass the baton, let somebody else do it, get on base.
Yeah, you know you got to slug in the American League East, and this team is well aware of that. They do a lot of their damage, actually most of their damage late in ball games. So it's a clutch team that is never out of any ball game. If their starters aren't going to last long, they look for their bullpen to give the support at the end so that the offense can carry them through. And they've done that more times than not this year, and it's really helped propel them to first place in this American League East division. Is it going to sustain? Well, they hope so the whole year, because it doesn't look like the rotation's going to solidify. They better keep putting runs on the board. Health is going to be a big factor there, but as long as these guys keep contributing, getting on base, and turning the lineup over so the boppers can get to them again, they're going to have some success.
And looking ahead to the second half, the starting rotation is certainly the key. Yovani Gallardo may be the key of the keys, and he goes today. And Yovani, if you don't get to him early, it seems you don't get to him.
Yeah, Gallardo, first inning's been a trouble spot for him, as well as most of the starting pitchers in the rotation, but 11.25 earned run average, ridiculous. And then you see it goes down dramatically, 4.75 second inning on. Opponent batting average up in the first inning, settles in, later in the ball game. So Gallardo's got to get through the first inning. He's got to be aggressive. He's got to attack. Got to trust his defense. He can't, give extra passes. The walks obviously kill all the pitchers. But that first inning, he's got to get by, settle in, get on that cruise control, get deep into the ball game. And the Orioles offense has been giving them a lot of run support all year.
So today it's the middle game of this 3-game series. Orioles looking to get even after last night's 9-5 loss. Manny Gnomes, they're everywhere. Lineups and first pitch are next. Orioles baseball on Masson is brought to you by Southwest. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. And by visitannapolis.org. Create your moment at visitannapolis.org. It is a lovely summer afternoon at Camden Yards. Here's our BGE home game time temperature of 91 degrees and that humidity at 46%. BGE Home is Baltimore's home team for heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical. Why would you call anyone else? So the Orioles looking to get even. Here is Mike Scioscia's Angels lineup. Escobar, Calhoun, and Mike Trout in that number 3 spot. He has been on base in 40 of his last 65 plate appearances, and again heading to the All-Star game. Pujols, Nava, and Choi, with Giavotella at second, and Bandy and Simmons.
And let's take a look at Yovani Gallardo's pitch arsenal this season. The fastball 34% of the time. That breaking ball mixing it in 53%. And the changeup 13% of the time. Yeah, pretty even distribution with all of his offerings, and has to do that. Stay competitive and keep this offense off balance. 8 starts this year, 3 wins. That earned run average really elevated. Looking to bring that down for sure. Opponent's batting average 295 overall. Lefty's way up to 329. So he is a fly ball pitcher. He's given up 6 home runs. He's given up 5 of those, or 6 of those in his last 5 starts.
Yeah, Yovani has that bad luck, I guess you call it, that when he seems to miss, he misses in the happy zone. He doesn't miss down and away. He misses in the happy zone. Of course, he loves to live on the corners, and here's the red-hot Yunel Escobar to get us going here on this bright, sunny, and warm day, and he swings at the first pitch and pops it up. Here comes Caleb. Here comes Manny. Manny calls, and he's got it. Thank you very much. 1 pitch, 1 down.
Oh, there you go. Take a look at the Orioles defense. Kim Jones and Rickard in the outfield. Hardy and Scope double play combination. Machado and Davis on the corners. Caleb behind the plate. And how about Hyun-Soo Kim flashing the leather out in left field. Making a nice play up against the wall and the diving effort in the left center field gap. Adam Jones, Gold Glove center fielder, loving that. Put a smile on Kim's face.
All Kim has to do is keep listening to Wayne Kirby, as he just did. You saw him move, and Adam Jones, and he'll be fine. The guy in center field has a Gold Glove or 2 or more. And here is Calhoun, and he'll take a strike. There's a good spot right on the outside corner.
Well, you're right about Gallardo living on the edges. He won't give in to anybody. He lives for the soft contact, and getting ahead is going to be a key.
Calhoun, one of 3 left-handed batters in the lineup. Daniel Nava, a switch hitter, will bat from the left side. Just missed outside. Yovani coming off a no decision. He pitched the 4th of July game in Los Angeles and lasted just 4 innings because of a high pitch count. He allowed 4 runs on 6 hits and did give up a pair of solo home runs, and they came back to back as the Orioles gave him a 3-0 lead in the second. Then in the bottom of the second, Yasiel Puig and Grandal hit back-to-back solo homers. They got back in it. Last night, Ubaldo was chased very early, lasted an inning and a third, and allowed 5 earned runs.
Yeah, it's going to be up to the starting rotation to turn things around for this team and help stabilize them. It's been treading water first half of the season. Fortunately, the bullpen has stayed consistent in this Orioles offense to kind of cover up some of the weak spots in the rotation.
Well, Dave Wallace has a group they feel can be competitive, and if there are adjustments to be made, he'll figure out a way to help these pitchers. There's a strike, 3-2. And the organization probably, I mean, we know where they're looking. Dan Duquette told us that on the pregame show on the radio the other day. But you'd like to figure it out internally first if you can, because then you don't have to sacrifice prospects.
Oh, absolutely. You see a picture of Dylan Bundy right there. There are arms in the organization that are definitely going to help. You just look for a few to blossom, you know, that lightning in a bottle.
Very close pitch, and Gallardo doesn't get the call, so there's a 1-out walk.
And enticing pitches, all working that outside corner, but Calhoun showing the great patience and not flinching to draw that walk.
Gallardo this year has walked about 4.5 per game, which is up a walk per game from his career numbers. And here is Mike Trout. Trout 5th in the league in batting at 324, and he is 9th in RBIs with those 57. And there's a strike on the corner, so he's been strike 1 to all 3 hitters. Well, if you look at the rotation, Tillman is fine. He knows how to navigate through the struggles. The Orioles expect Gallardo will revert to form in the second half. The shoulder is strong now, and he is making his 5th start since coming off the DL. Gausman really is the key, because Kevin, he has all that potential and just hasn't been able to harness it to take the next step.
Well, you're right, and some of it is still just that pride of his fastball, you know, trying to blow it by guys instead of trying to stay to the game plan. May not have to throw 98, 99 all the time. Certainly good to use all 4 quadrants, though, with the fastball, and that's what he's going to have to do the second half.
Giovanni misses down and away. He is 2-0 since coming off the DL. His ERA is still higher than he'd like, 5.31 in the 4 starts since coming off the DL. 2-1 to Trout, upstairs, ball 3. This part of the lineup for the Angels is very patient. Trout has 102 base hits, but he's also walked 58 times. So he looks for his pitch, and if you work around him, he'll take the walk. Check swing, and he fouled it off. Didn't mean to swing, so 3-2.
Good fastball right there from Gallardo, and the 2-seamer kind of boring in on Trout.
You saw Trout looking in the stands. He was concerned that ball got back there very quickly, but I believe a fan actually caught it. So it seems everybody's okay, and it's nice of Mike to look in the stands, right?
Yeah.
And we'll see if Calhoun runs on a 3-2. Scioscia likes to make things happen. And Giovanni's going to give him a look.
Yeah, they had their running shoes on early in the ball game. Seemed like every opportunity, 3-2, 3-1, they were in motion. Gallardo a little quicker than Ubaldo, but it is part of their philosophy. Aggressive on the base paths.
He is running, and the 3-2 is a called strike 3. Throw to second, the tag, he's out. There's a strikeout, throw out, double play. Trout didn't like the call of strike 3. He's having a conversation with Jordan Baker, but look at this throw from Caleb Joseph and the quick tag from Schoop. So the strikeout, throw out, double play ends the inning, and it gets Gallardo out of possible trouble. So the Angels don't score, a walk and none left. Los Angeles nothing, and here come the O's. First inning, Caleb Joseph getting it to Schoop. They're discussing the throw and the tag. It was perfectly thrown, and the tag just as good. Orioles lineup presented by Southwest. Southwest transparency, low fares, and nothing to hide. Jones, Kim, and Machado with Trumbo in the cleanup spot today. Then Davis and Schoop. Jonathan comes in on a 7-game hitting streak, batting .345 during the streak. Hardy bats 7th, and Rickard and Joseph.
And let's take a look at Nick Tropiano's pitch arsenal this season. The fastball 51% of the time. Not overpowering at all. 89 to 92 with the heater. When he gets in trouble, he'll go to the off-speed pitches, the breaking ball, and curve, and he has a change split finger combination. for the off-speed pitch. 11 starts, 3 wins, 3.28 earned run average. Very respectable on this 60 in the third inning of work. Opponent's hitting .271 off Tropiano, and he has given up the 10 long balls.
So here is Adam Jones against Tropiano. First ball swinging. He's going to pull it foul. Trying to ambush Tropiano just as he did last night. First pitch he saw against Shoemaker.
Yeah, and here it was. First pitch off Shoemaker, gets a fastball and hammers it to straightaway center. His 4th home run on the first pitch this season. And he almost hit the 5th. Just pulling that Tropiano fastball just foul down the left field line. Look at Shoemaker.
Waves at a slider, 0-2.
He loves his off-speed pitches.
There's only one batter in the Orioles lineup today that has seen Tropiano, and that's Mark Trumbo. There's Trumbo last year, Arizona, then Seattle. Seattle and the Angels in the same division. And a swing and a miss. So Jones down on strikes on 3 pitches. And one away here in the first.
Well, maybe the change or split finger here. And you see the good drop at the bottom of the strike zone. Showing itself, and the late fade right at the end as Adam Jones swinging over the top.
Here's Hyun-Soo Kim batting at .331, and his current hitting streak is 5 in a row. And a little low, 1-0. Now Mike Scioscia has changed up from last night. He actually does have the shift on against Kim, with Simmons the shortstop on the second base side up the middle. So Escobar is the only infielder on the left side. We asked Buck Showalter in his pregame session today about Kim and how he consistently makes contact. Is that in part because he's not stubborn? He'll use the whole field. He said that's part of it, but the other part is that if he doesn't get around on the good fastballs, maybe he's a little late and he hits it the other way.
Yeah.
So you really have no idea where he's going to hit it, which is why most teams should not employ the shift against him. And there's a strike, 2-1.
Well, and it's kind of a tribute to his approach at the plate. You know, leading with the hands, keeping the barrel above the hands, and that's a protective device for most hitters. Instead of trying to get the barrel out in front too quickly and getting around the ball, they can use the whole field by leading with the hands.
Shows bunt to get Escobar moving, and it's outside. 3-1. He has a very good knowledge of the strike zone. He'll get fooled from time to time, but rarely does he chase a pitch.
He's calmed himself down. I mean, it's been a lot of fun to watch the evolution here of Kim at the major league level. Tough spring training, but took his time. A lot of hard work. He's got him to this spot.
Perfect pitch on the outside corner, full count. Now, if the Orioles can win this game, their lead is back to 2. The Blue Jays have lost at home. Tigers held on and beat them 3-2. Jason Grilli took the loss in relief for the Jays. Outside ball 4, and there's a 1-out walk.
Nice at bat right there by Kim. Take a look at the Angels defense. Nava, Trout, and Calhoun will be in the outfield. Simmons and Giavotella, double play combination. Escobar and Choi the start at first base. Look at the broken hand yesterday. Bandy will do the catcher, or the catching. Yeah, Crone started yesterday at first base. Took a Mike Wright fastball off top of the hand, and X-rays proved positive. There is a fracture in the hand.
Here's Manny with a man on. Manny's hitting 3 straight games. And since June the 9th, Mike, he's hitting .369. Swings at an off-speed pitch, 0-1.
Well, how about the by situation here? Opponent batting average deep inside the numbers, saying with the bases empty, you might be able to get your hits, but when you get on base, he gets stubborn. That's when you're going to see the split finger, the change, and the slider come into play. They like to use the fastball to get ahead, but boy, does he bear down with runners on base.
Machado in 23 games since June 9th, .369, 4 home runs, and 16 RBIs. Lays off it, check swing, did not go on the appeal. No ball and a strike on Manny. Tropiano is out of West Islip, New York, and he went to college at Stony Brook University. Now, Stony Brook has had just 4 players play in the big leagues, and 3 are active right now, which is incredible. 1-1 on Manny, and it's in the dirt ball too. You have Nick Tropiano, active with the Angels. Tom Kohler, who's in the rotation with the Miami Marlins. And you have Travis Jankowski, who the Orioles just saw, an outfielder with the Padres. The 4th is Joe Nathan, who's trying to make a comeback. He signed a minor league deal with the Cubs. He's on the 60-day DL rehabbing. So only 4 players, and if Nathan makes it back, they'll all be active this year.
Unbelievable.
In the history of that program at Stony Brook.
Stony Brook, hotbed.
On Long Island. Swing and a miss. He keeps staying with that same pitch, Mike.
Yeah, slower. Change up, slider, split finger, keeping Manny Machado off balance. This is what he's known for, especially with guys on base, and especially the power hitters that this Oriole lineup features every night. You see a lot of off-speed pitches.
2-2 on Manny. Kim at first with 1 down. Another throw to first. Now at first base, there's a reunion going on there. Ji-Man Choi and Hyun-Soo Kim, both natives of South Korea. As Mike told you, Choi was just called up from AAA today to take the spot of C.J. Cron, who was hit with a pitch last night by Mike Wright and suffered a fractured hand. 2-2 is a little low, ball 3. Now that's a gutsy take.
Yeah,
wow,
great
that was
take.
close.
Well, Manny, probably more than any other young hitter I've seen in the game today, has the ability to make the adjustments in at bats. He has a great idea of what pitchers are trying to do to him, an understanding and recognition of pitches early with a very quiet stance, and he never gets ahead of himself, and if he does, he can make the adjustment on the next swing.
Kim runs, and the pitch is taken for a strike. Throw to second base, the tag, he's out. So how about that? Each inning ends the same way, a called strike 3 and a strike him out, throw him out, double play. So neither team can score in the first. Kim gunned down at second base. We'll head to the second at Camden Yards. Angels and O's, no score. Celebrate one of the Orioles' biggest stars. All fans of the game tomorrow, 1:35, receive the Adam Jones Jumbo Baseball Card presented by Topps. And then after the game, all the kids 14 and under can run the bases here at Oriole Park just as they can following every Sunday home game this year. So you get a double. You get the daytime baseball, and the kids have a blast on the field. For your tickets, Orioles.com or 888-848-BIRD, and you will get the Jumbo Adam Jones Baseball Card.
How jumbo is that card?
I haven't seen it. Here's Pujols, and he takes a strike. Usually we get advance notice. Get a look at it. Pujols, Nava, and Choi here in the second.
How about this? Highest average versus Yovani Gallardo. This is active players. There's Albert Pujols, 433. Goldschmidt up there at 600. He's done some damage, 13 for 32.
Bounce toward Manny. Ooh, he got a tough in-between hop. Takes his time to get Pujols one away. He has outstanding hands. It's just incredible.
Great hands. Does he have a heart rate right now? It looks like just nonchalant, reaching out there, has the extendo arms to fill up that 5-6 hole, and makes it look so smooth and easy.
Well, when you're the best third baseman in the game, you can look like that,
right?
And he also knew Albert was running.
Take his time.
With a bad foot.
Bit. Yes.
Here's Nava, and he'll take a strike. So Gallardo, Mike, has been strike one to all 5 hitters.
I like that. Really good command of his fastball. Very smart pitcher, and that's the key. When he can command his heater and work his secondary pitches off his fastball, he's going to have success. It's when he doesn't have the command, like most pitchers, but he doesn't have the overpowering fastball. A lot of the pitchers that are throwing mid to high 90s can get away with mistakes with the heaters at times. And they're throwing low 90s, high 80s with the heater. Almost have to be perfect and keep the hitters off balance with the off-speed pitches.
1-1 is at the knees for a strike. Caleb has been consistently setting up away on these hitters. Nava in his career against the Orioles, of course, a former Red Sox player, so he's had a lot of head-to-head with the O's. Big crowd on hand on this very warm day, and Caleb in there. Afternoon game after a night game. Upstairs with a fastball, 2-2. For Gallardo, this is only the second time in his career he has faced the Angels. And the only other start was last year when he pitched for the Rangers, and he got knocked around a little bit. In 4 innings, he allowed 5 runs on 8 hits, but he pitched 2-0 decision. Outside ball 3. That was July 25th of last year in Anaheim. Of course, the Rangers and the Angels in the same division, so more opportunities, but yet he only saw them once.
Yeah.
So 3-2 on Nava, 1 out, nobody on. And no score. Outside ball 4. So he got ahead, couldn't get in the chase, and he walks his second batter. And here is Ji-Man Choi coming up. And Mike, this is amazing. There are 9 players from Korea that are currently either active or in AAA in the major leagues. Hyun-Jin Ryu of the Dodgers, he is injured right now, but they expect him back in the second half. But this is really an influx. We used to see this with the Japanese baseball leagues, but now there are 9 active players from Korea, and here are 2 in the game today.
Yeah, pretty amazing how aggressively the international scouting has been, and the team's just pulling over the top players from the leagues in Asia, and they've been productive. It's nice to see. I think Major League Baseball obviously wants it to be more of a world game, and getting some of the best talent from around the world certainly helps Major League Baseball.
You see Choi's numbers. He was with the team earlier this year and had only 1 base hit, 1-1 the count. For the first time, he made a roster out of spring training, and then on May the 10th, he was designated for assignment. They got him through waiver, sent him to AAA, and he hit pretty well there and called up today to fill a need with Cron going on the disabled list. So Mike Scioscia and the Angels working the phones to get him here. He was with Salt Lake. At AAA, he was batting .327, but with the Angels earlier this year, he was just 1 for 18. Nava on at first and 1 down. And time requested at the plate.
And the Angels have had some very tough injuries, and injury yesterday to Cron. The fractured hand is pretty big. Cron was hot, really setting the pace for this Angels offense that's caught fire here in July.
Mike Scioscia's team 37-50. Gallardo missing badly on that fastball. Angels now in a tie with Oakland for 4th place in the division. Athletics blew a 9th inning lead against Houston last night. And just outside. Very tight zone here early on. Caleb loves to set up just off the plate, and if the pitcher hits the glove, it's not always called a strike because he's just off the plate. So if Gallardo can't get the hitter to chase it and it's taken, more times than not it's called a ball.
Yeah, a lot of takes right now from this Angels team. They are not biting on the expansion of the zone as Caleb works off the edge a little bit more. Nobody expanding the zone with 2 strikes.
Well, they have to change the signs now with the runner at second base. Angels last night went 5 for 12 with runners in scoring position. The Orioles just 1 out of 8. And here's Johnny Giavotella. 9 hits in his last 25 at bats. He's become the everyday second baseman for the Angels. And a strike taken, 0-1.
Take a look at the PNC inside the numbers here. Yovani Gallardo, opponent average by situation. Runners in scoring position 273. Needs to get to the runners in scoring position with 2 outs. Someone will find a way to get the second out here because that batting average way down to 176.
And again, he misses just inside. These Angel hitters are patient. If you're going to walk them, they'll take it.
And so Caleb's got to move that glove on the plate a little bit more, make these pitches a little more enticing, and get the bat start moving. Once they start swinging, Gallardo can start going to work.
Center field playable for Jones. He'll glide back on it. Runners go back to tag. Adam has it. Going to third is Nava. Choi holds it first, and now 2 men out. So there's a big out for Gallardo. Angels now with runners on the corners and 2 down.
Caleb Joseph out to give the first and third situation, whether or not he's going to be throwing through or looking to third base. The Angels are really known for exposing teams, especially in the running game. Now, they don't have the team speed that they've had in the past, but they still like to push the envelope. And first and third, big time running play for most teams, trying to steal a run. Maybe if Bandy falls behind.
First ball swing, pop foul. That'll be in the crowd. Caleb over just in case. Gallardo, before going on the DL with the weak shoulder, pitched to an ERA of 7. He was 1-1 in those 4 starts. His ERA was exactly 7. 2 of his 3 wins have come here at Camden Yards. Too tight with a fastball, and Bandy lays off. Bandy's out of Thousand Oaks, California, which is 73 miles from Angel Stadium in Anaheim. Well, there's a thrill for him. He gets to play for the hometown team, although technically he's closer to Dodger Stadium, but outside for ball 2. Yovani's pitch count elevates because he's stubborn by design that he doesn't want to give in to the hitters. But if he can't get them to chase, he's going to have a lot of deep counts. He's already walked 3 in the first 2 innings. Ground ball to short. There's Hardy. JJ goes to Scope, and Gallardo gets out of it. So a couple of walks and 2 men left. Yovani's walked 3. Mid-second at Camden Yards. No score.
Don't see too often in baseball. How about strike 3? Throw him out from Caleb Joseph. And that shuts the Angels down. Nice tag by Jonathan Scope. But in the bottom half of the inning, same thing happened to the Orioles. Manny Machado down on fastball for strike 3, and Kim thrown out at second base. And the first inning ends. Wow. Pretty interesting stuff right there, wouldn't you say, Jim?
You usually don't see that.
You don't.
And you brought it to us.
Yes. Very unique.
As are you. Tropiano going back to work, 25 years old. He was drafted by the Astros out of Stony Brook University, and he was part of the deal when the Angels traded Hank Conger, the catcher, to the Astros. He and Carlos Perez, who was just sent down today, he was the other catcher last night. They both went to the Angels for Conger. So that, to me, is a real good trade for the Angels. They get a potential rotation piece for a backup catcher. Here's Trumbo, ball 1. Mark leading the league in home runs with 27. He's third in RBIs with 67. And he brings a 6-game hitting streak into the game. Ball 2 inside.
Yeah, pretty powerful 6-game hitting streak. 4 home runs in the last 5 games. So the power there, and has been the whole first half. It's Trumbo leading the way in the American League. It is 26 homers.
And he gets ahead 2-0. Perfect pitch on the outside corner, 2-1. Tropiano is 7-7 in the big leagues. He was on the disabled list from June 4th to June 24th. He had right shoulder tightness, and then when he was activated, he was sent to AAA, and then he was recalled on the 4th of July and pitched that day against Tampa Bay. That was Monday at the Trop. No decision. He went 5 innings, allowed only 2 runs on a pair of solo homers. He was 3-2 before going on the DL. Trumbo to center field. That chases Trout. Back it goes at the wall, and that ball is gone. And Trumbo stays hot. Number 28 for the All-Star, and the Birds have a 1-0 lead.
Pretty impressive run here for Mark Trumbo. 28th home run of the season. When he was an All-Star in 2012, he had 22 first half homers. Blowing that number out of the water right now.
And here is Chris Davis, who's batting 5th today, so the Orioles strike first. Down and away, 1-0.
We'll take a look at the swing. Center cut fastball after working the edges. The mistake with the heater. And Kim liking how Trumbo does the damage, makes him pay for the mistake.
Borderline pitch called to strike, 1-1.
Long way, 103 miles an hour off the bat of Trumbo. So not the hardest home run he's hit, but another one up over 400 feet.
Well, Trout went back in that ball hoping to make another home run robbing catch at the wall, and then just as he got to the wall, he realized it was going to be in the bleachers.
Yeah.
Number 28 for Trumbo. He has 7 home runs and 16 RBIs in his last 13 games. That is some kind of ratio. Davis the other way off the end of the bat. Nava was very deep, has to charge in, and he's not going to get there. It falls in for a single. Wow, was he deep for a left-handed batter, and as a result, Davis has a gift single.
I like that. A lot of hits over there on the left side of the field for Chris Davis. We find some grass here. Yeah, this Angels outfield playing extremely deep with the power hitting Orioles offense. And that ball had some serious hang time, and Nava just too deep to come down with the out.
It also looked like he misread the swing. It was off the end of the bat, and he initially broke back or hesitated, and then he couldn't get in. And we have a balloon delay. Our Maryland Lottery contestant of the game, Janice Sneed of Towson, has won $500 for being selected. And will win $500 more for every Orioles home run hit in the game today. And that's already occurred, courtesy of Mark Trumbo. Play home run Rich's scratch-offs and win up to $50,000 or enter non-winning tickets for a chance to be the contestant of the game. Visit mdlottery.com/baseball. Nice job by the ball girl to get the balloon.
Yeah. Balloons obviously didn't get the memo about not being able to run across the field.
It's a little breezy. They blow out on the field. Here's Jonathan Scope with Davis at first. Strike on the corner. Jonathan is hitting 7 straight. 345, Mike, in the 7 games. 10 for 29. He's had a real consistent year.
How about Jonathan Scope? The power. 9 of his 14 home runs here at Camden Yards this season. And Jonathan Scope, we talked in spring training about this potentially being the breakout year. And it's been a breakout first half for sure. One of the best on both sides of the ball in the game. Second base defensively and offensively.
Certainly had an all-star caliber first half for Buck Showalter and the Orioles. 302 and 14 home runs at second base, and one of the 5 Orioles with at least 50 RBIs. And a good take. That's really been the difference.
Yeah, I think
laying
so
off pitches like that.
Yeah, absolutely. An awareness of his strike zone, a calmness, not in a rush. Doesn't want to get the at-bat out of the way. And I think that kind of shows. He's already tied a career high in walks. He's got 13 walks right now. Jonathan Scope, never really known for walking. Scott Coolbaugh certainly helped him iron out his swing and become more consistent with the approach.
Well, he's had some good instructors here along the way. And we go back to the Crow when he was in the minor leagues, and Terry Crowley had a lot of influence as a young player trying to discover who he was. I mean, those are the formative years. And then here, initially he had Jim Presley and now Scott Coolbaugh. So he's had very good instructors along the way. And anytime you start out with the Crow, you're doing okay.
Oh, absolutely. You know, and I don't think any one of these guys can go wrong with the instruction they're getting, but more importantly, just the veterans they have on the team that have such a good sound approach and a routine that's already established.
Got him with a changeup. Real good pitch. Might have been that splitter. And one away in the second.
Yeah, good diving action at the end to get Jonathan Scope out in front. And it kind of holds its head right till the last couple feet. Actually a slider. Just really biting down at the end. Pretty good pitch there to get Scope.
.29 pitches to get through 6 batters. 3 strikeouts already. Here's J.J. Hardy. J.J.'s got a 5-game hitting streak going. Now, the way Tropiano's been working here and Hardy's approach, he has that open stance and he's far from the plate. This could be a prime day for Hardy to use right field. You see how far away he is, and Tropiano working away. JJ could step into it and slap it to right field.
Or you could hope that 2-seamer leaks over the plate and he yanks it for a homer.
Tried to go that way, but he was late. Well, he hasn't hit a home run since April 12th. There's only 2 of the year. They're the direction by hit, so 12 to center and 6 to right, so 18 non-pull, although I guess if it's straight up the middle you could consider that pulling.
Well, JJ last couple years has used the whole field a little bit more than he did the first couple years with the Orioles. But some injuries have kind of set him back. Missed some time this year with a broken foot for sure. I think everybody had the feel, though, out of spring training that Hardy was going to get those power numbers back up. I mean, he's swinging back great all spring. And he's still, I mean, he's very aggressive up there. It's just a matter of some more at bats and finding that home run swing, because I think once he locks into it, I think the home runs will come for him.
Well, he's certainly capable of doing that. His track record shows that. He had only 8 home runs last year, but he's had 5 seasons of at least 20 home runs. And his career high did come as an Oriole. In 2011, he had 30 home runs for the O's. 2-2 with Davis at first. Strike 3 called. Hardy does not agree with the call. Yeah. You rarely see J.J. barking an umpire.
That plate's getting big. Holy cow. Take a look at the Mercedes pitch track. Little 2-seam fastball. Starts on the plate, but runs well off, down and in. See J.J. jackknifing away. It's a Mercedes pitch track presented by Mercedes-Benz. The best or nothing.
That was not only low, it was inside. Came right down the chalk line of the batter's box. So 4 strikeouts. And here's Joey Rickard getting a start in right field today. Outside ball 1. Joey's doing a really good job, and he's now adjusting to not playing every day after he was playing every day. He's got a 4-game hitting streak going, and Mike, in his last 14 games with an at-bat, he's batting .367.
Nice.
It's a tribute to him that he's been able to keep that batting eye and that stroke despite infrequent at-bats. Breaking ball for a strike, 1-1.
Yeah, he's had to make some adjustments. I mean, he was playing every day. The league started making adjustments to him. His batting average started going down. He'd lose his playing time. So now making the adjustments off the bench, learning how to keep himself sharp and his swing right.
Bunts out in front of the plate. Pitcher picks it up and throws and got him by a step. That was a good idea, but he hit it too straight. If he pulls it a little bit towards third base, he probably has a bunt single. Orioles do get the lead as Mark Trumbo, leading off the inning, worked the count full. And then he gets into one into the bleachers in center field. Number 28 has put the O's on top. Baseball is brought to you by T-Mobile, and the Red Sox went out and acquired Brad Ziegler from the Diamondbacks last night for a couple of prospects, 1 pitcher and 1 infielder. Tigers beat the Blue Jays at Rogers Center today. Victor Martinez solo home run for the margin of difference there. And if the season ended today, all 3 AL East teams would be in the playoffs. The Orioles would have the division, and the Red Sox and Blue Jays would be the wild card game. And a swing and a foul back off the bat of Andrelton Simmons.
Red Sox been pretty active here. Picked up Aaron Hill and now Ziegler. Of course, they had to pick up Ziegler quickly. Kimbrel will be having some knee surgery for his meniscus. That's some batting practice, huh, Jim?
That's what I understand. It was during the BP. He must have been shagging.
Yeah.
So he's having that surgery that you came through very successfully.
How about you? How was your meniscus?
Not so much. You were back at it in a month. I'm still not back at it. Simmons, Escobar, and Calhoun. Well, Dave Dombrowski, he is without a doubt proactive. So by losing Kimbrel, we're at 17 saves, he immediately goes out and gets Ziegler. Struck him out.
Ooh. Nice pitch right there. Staying on the inside corner. It's strike 2 called, and how about the cutter? Backing it up right there on the inside corner. Caleb softening the hands to pull it back in. Get that first out.
Yeah, I think that little wrinkle is why he got the call, because Caleb was set off the plate.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Well, he got a call for strike 2 in there. And then it's the cut fastball.
Maybe just did hit that corner. Real good shot from overhead. Escobar first ball swinging again, and again he pops it up. Hardy's out. He'll get there. He calls off Kim. And JJ has it for the out. So 2 men down. Last night, the Orioles celebrated the 50th anniversary of the team's first World Championship. They wore special commemorative uniforms that were modeled after the 1966 Orioles. Each player and coach's jersey and cap, plus replica jerseys for the members of the 66 team honored last night, have been autographed and authenticated, and they've been placed up for auction. The proceeds will benefit the Orioles Charitable Foundation. So get online, Orioles.com/auction, and place your bids and own a piece of Orioles history. That was a nice ceremony last night with several of the members of that team back in Baltimore, including number 5.
Yeah, it was a great night. Unfortunately, the Orioles didn't win, but man, celebrate that team, 50 years. And of course, the Orioles being in first place right now. Packed house last night.
Another big crowd today. Oriole fans love the day games. We've seen this all season long. On the weekends when there are day games, big crowds show up. Of course, today's the Manny Garden Gnome giveaway. Pulls it foul, and it's going to stay foul. 1-2 on Calhoun. Calhoun walked and was caught trying to steal his first at bat. Oh, that guy. That is a collectible right there.
Yeah, Dad's saying don't open it up. Don't open it.
They're everywhere. They're up on the flag court. They're at the rooftop bar in center field. Hard hit ball to Hardy. Ricochets off JJ. Scope picks it up, throws, and got him at first base. Oh, there's teamwork for you. That ball ate up JJ Hardy, and Scope was able to bail him out. Mike Scioscia waiting to see if he's going to ask for a challenge. For the moment, it's an out and a 3-up, 3-down inning.
That bullet off the bat of Calhoun gets on Hardy quick. Hardy in the shift on the second base side, and ball's on him before he can get in front of it. But nice backup by Jonathan Scope.
So that's your typical 6-4-3 bounce out. 3-up, 3-down go the Angels in the third. You enjoy a cold one on this hot day. To look forward to Miller time later in today's game. Brought to you by Miller Lite. 1-0 O's on the Trumbo home run. Manny Machado, Nome Day. Manny is my Nomi.
I love that. It's nice.
Nick Tropiano getting set to work. There's Mr. Machado. Hashtag Manny Magic. There's Caleb leading off. Jones and Kim will follow. And a strike at the belt, 0-1. Caleb 0 for 7 in his 2 starts since coming off the DL, and really has not been able to get it on track at the plate all year, even prior to the DL. He still does not have an RBI, and he has just 12 hits, 10 singles and 2 doubles.
Yeah, Caleb trying to get into a groove, somehow find some rhythm at the plate. And just when he started to feel a little bit better, he had to go on the DL, missing more time. That broke up the rhythm and timing that he had started to develop.
And the 1-2 pitch is swung on and missed. Very effective pitch for Tropiano. He has 5 strikeouts already.
Putting it in the right spot, showing good command here of the slider, getting on the side of the baseball. And just enough break to get it off the end of the bat. And Caleb Joseph, you see that front side fly out of there and just opening up the outside corner. Tropiano exposing it there.
Well, 1 away, and here's Adam. He struck out his first at bat. Adam looking to extend the hitting streak to 7 in a row. And there's a base hit to right field. He just went with the pitch and served it in the right field for a soft single. So Adam extends his hitting streak to 7 in a row with a 1-out base hit. Check out Masson Orioles on Instagram and look for this photo for your chance to win an autographed Orioles prize pack. That's Masson Orioles on Instagram, presented by Hair Cuttery, home of the Smile Back Guarantee. Nice shot of Utah Street. And a big crowd on hand on this Saturday afternoon. Better than 44,000 here last night. Looks like this crowd might be as big or a little bigger. And here is Hyun-Soo Kim. In the dirt, gets away from Bandy, and Jones will get the second.
There you go. Good break right there. Nice job by Adam Jones. Recognizing the ball down in the dirt. A little bit of a hesitation, but kicks away from Bandy enough for Adam to walk into second base.
Adam Jones pointing out to Mike Trout. Trout just mimicked that swing Adam put on that base hit. And a good take, 2-0. Yeah, see, he's still saying that. What'd you do there? You went to right field? Swung down on the ball? Jones is yelling out, I'm on base.
Yeah, well, Adam Jones knows to keep it out of the way of him. Mike Trout can run him down.
Outside, ball 3. Well, when Adam is going good, he does use right field, and right now he's going good. 7-game hitting streak. And he has 9 hits now during the streak. Scoring position with 1 down, and 3-0 on Kim. And takes all the way at the knees, 3-1. There's not much difference with Tropiano with the splits. The lefties came in batting .264, righties .278. And very similar in the effectiveness against lefties or righties. I'm sure that splitter has a lot to do with it. And 3-1 on Kim, chance for an RBI. 3-2 on the foul ball.
Yeah, he likes to throw more changeups actually to the left-handed hitters. A little surprising. More fastball slider combinations to the righties. But isn't afraid to mix in that change splitter. Either lefties or righties, but typically the right-handed pitchers will throw the splitty as it fades away from the lefties, but he likes his change, that fade action.
So full count on Kim. Simmons runs in behind Adam.
Watch out, Tropiano, real good pickoff move. He's picked off 4 guys this year.
Grounded towards second base. Giavotella plays it. He'll get Kim. Jones moves to third. And 2 men down. For every Orioles walk this season, CareFirst Blue Cross Blue Shield will contribute $50 to support the Be More for Healthy Babies. The Orioles have drawn 258 walks for a total of $12,900. CareFirst Blue Cross Blue Shield encourages each of us to take that first step towards a healthier and a more active lifestyle. Now here's Manny with a chance for an RBI with 2 down. Manny was called out on strikes his first at bat. Check swing inside.
He loves the Garden Gnomes. Look good beside Buck Showalters.
Well, Manny got a base hit on his birthday that came in the winning rally in the 14th inning. So he had a flair for the dramatic there. Since today is his Gnome Day, you would think he'd do something big. Gets ahead 2-0. Swings through it off speed pitch.
Had 2-0 change. Nice change up. 10 miles an hour. Slower than his fastball and located perfectly down and away.
Left field towards the line, fading and back out of play. Didn't sound good off the bat. And faded foul.
Yeah, got it off the end. A little breaking ball there. Manny a little too quick. Tropiano pitched him backwards his last at bat, striking him out on a fastball after getting ahead with sliders and changeups.
Well, 2-2 after Manny got ahead 2-0. Ground ball towards short. There's Simmons. And he'll get Machado, and Tropiano gets out of it. So the Orioles strand Jones at third through 3. Pitchers in command, 1-0 Orioles. is brought to you by the RAV4 Hybrid. All-wheel drive and unexpected performance. Visit buyatoyota.com. Manny Garden Gnome Day, and there's Manny in the garden. Right outside the home plate plaza area at the ballpark. Beautiful flowers. Slight delay here. The home plate umpire, Jordan Baker, has gone back to the umpire's room.
Equipment adjustment.
It looks like he may have added sunglasses. Gallardo has walked 3 over the first 3 innings, no runs. And in the third, he had his first 3 up, 3 down inning of 44 pitches. And ball 1 low.
Well, he's looked good. Fortunately, the walks haven't hurt him. He's working the edges. He hasn't made a lot of mistakes on the plate. And trying to entice this Angels lineup, start reaching, expanding the zone a little bit. He's showing good command with all of his pitches.
Trout with a healthy cut there. Trout was called out on strikes his first at bat. He did not agree with the call. Now this is getting to be the time of day where it's tough to hit. It's a bright day, a high sky. You see the shadows creeping out. So Trout's in the shadows, Gallardo in the full sunshine. Check swing and appeal. Didn't go.
That was a good view of that pitch, though. Nice cutter. Gallardo, great movement. Almost getting Trout to swing at it.
And he popped him up. Shallow right center. Rickard is in on it. Adam calls him off, and he makes the catch.
Yeah, chucks him away. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Adam calling it. Tell Joey to get out of there, and then the hip check. Get out of here. Oh, that's nice.
On a day like this with this high sky, you have to stick with it. Wayne Kirby's thinking, what just happened there?
Well, he's going to scream on Joey, not
He's telling Joey, stay out of my way. Here's Pujols. Inside, ball 1. Albert bounced out to third his first at bat on a nice play by Manny on a short hop. Two and 0. Cavani trying to win his 4th and stabilize this rotation a bit. Two and 1 on the foul ball. The Orioles starters combined ERA is 5.23, which is 14th. Just a tick ahead of Minnesota. The Twins are at 5.29, the worst in the league. I'm not sure where that pitch was. Ball 3.
Look good, keeping the pitches, all competitive pitches. Hitters.
Strike on the corner.
That's a good one there. Social not liking the call, but Gallardo showing the consistently. See, take a look at the Mercedes pitch track. I mean, he's just filling it up. Those are some quality pitches, bottom of the zone. Getting the call there. Should have gotten the call before.
Mike Scioscia did not agree. So instead of a walk, it's 3 and 2 on Pujols. Off the end of the bat, shallow left. Kim was deep. Long run in, won't get there. Kim plays maybe the deepest left field of any outfielder in the league, and that one right off the end of the bat. So there's a bloop single and the first hit for the Angels.
Yeah, real good pitch. Maybe too good. Coming off the end of the bat to find some grass nestling out there between Hardy and Kim. Nice breaking ball. Keeping Pujols off balance. Take a look at the pitch. Pulls the trigger, but then you see him reaching out, just getting enough of the bat on the ball, and it's a good base hit for Pujols.
And this one gets past Caleb. That allows Pujols to go to second. So there goes the chance for a double play. Let's rule the wild pitch.
Wow.
Tying run in scoring position now.
And take a look here. Breaking ball and cutting down and in. Caleb trying to reach out and get it. All right, ball he should have had.
The 1-0 on Nava. Now back the other way. Pujols the first hit for the Angels, and it's a bloop. Gallardo on this hot, humid day, protecting a 1-0 lead. And a foul in and out of the glove of Caleb.
I really like the way he's working right now, and this is kind of a look at what most of the rotation is going to have to do, and that's work all four quadrants. Just kind of move the baseball around, show the command, and then off all four quadrants is where you work the movement. Gallardo's spotting a fastball up, down, and in. Then he's throwing a cutter and a two-seamer off that. And here working up and away, then up and in, and down and in. So keeping hitters guessing, moving the eye location and the speeds of the pitches.
Too far outside. Nava won't chase. Angels are playing good baseball. They've won 4 in a row, which matches their season high. And they've outscored the opposition 3 games against Tampa Bay and last night against the Orioles, 34-13 in those 4 games.
Well, they're putting some runs up, that's for sure. The offense has made the turn.
2-2 is outside, ball 3. So he goes off the plate trying to get him to chase back-to-back pitches. So now the 1-2 count becomes a full count because Nava had the patience not to chase. Another bloop. This ball's trouble. Slicing to Kim. He'll get there. And he has it for the out. If he threw back to second base right away, he might have had Pujols, but he didn't see him. So 2 men down here in the 4th. The Birdland favorite is back at Oriole Park. First 20,000 fans, 21 and over, at the game Friday, July 22nd against Cleveland, received the Orioles floppy hat presented by Miller Lite. You know, it's one of the all-time favorites, and everybody looks forward to the floppy hat each year. So come on out, watch the Indians, a great team. They're having a big year, and get your 2016 Orioles floppy hat from Miller Lite. Tickets, Orioles.com or 888-848-BIRD.
Look at all the floppy hats.
The different versions. Here's Ji-Man Choi just up from the minors and swings through a breaking ball.
Nice breaking ball. 78 miles an hour. And really varying the speeds, mixing it up, the locations. This is Giovanni Gallardo that will have success for the Orioles. He's got to continue to pitch like this at the second half. Of course, the rest of this ball game.
Well, Gallardo gets ahead of him 0-2. Choi walked his first at bat. Tying run at second with 2 down. Fans now behind Gallardo. High fastball by design, but Choi laid off. Gallardo 4-8 in his career against the AL West. He has 105 big league wins. Again, too high. So from 0-2 to 2-2.
It seems like common practice for Gallardo, getting ahead, and then next thing you know, it's 2-2 or a full count. But that's the process it takes for Gallardo to get through a lineup and get outs on the board.
Pulled into right field, long run for Rickard. He gets there and makes the catch. So Gallardo gets out of it, and he strands the tying run at second base. We'll head to the bottom of the fourth. The O's have the lead. Home field advantage.
Yeah, the highest win percentage at home since 1954. Back in '69, that's .741 win percentage at home. Of course, led the team to the World Series in 1970. .728 helped lead the team to the World Series in '79. Oh yeah, .696 winning percentage at home. They were in the World Series again here 2016, 31-14. They've only lost one series here in the first half. .689 record. And 1971, .688. Oh yeah, they went to the World Series. So pretty nice home record for the Orioles this season, comparing to some of the best Oriole teams in history.
Trumbo leads off. Davis and Scope follow. Strike one taken. Darren O'Day. With one of the relievers out there. Is that Joe Smith? Darren's heading to Sarasota after the game tomorrow. He's going to spend a few days with Dave Walker down there. Treatment on the hamstring. 1-2 as it bounces. And here's what Trumbo did in the second.
Oh, he's been on a tremendous roll now. 5 home runs in his last 6 games. This is a bullet straight away center field on a 3-2 count. Finally gets a mistake fastball and does not miss it.
1 ball and 2 strikes. And he got him. Real good breaking ball. 6 strikeouts already for Trupiano.
Yeah, nice pitch here. A couple good pitches down in the zone. The late movement on there to get Trumbo. There is this split finger, that one. Working away. Good fade to keep it off the bat head.
He's up to 57 pitches and mixing it up pretty well. Chris Davis. He'll take low 1-0. Chris got a blue pit his first at bat on a high fly ball to medium left field. Nava was deep, broke in late, and it fell in for a hit. Tropiano gets 4.3 runs per game support from his teammates. And outside 2-1.
See the shadows dropping in there, making it too easy on the hitters.
And fouled off behind Wayne Kirby. 2-2 on Davis. Chris with that base hit, and he'll take it. It should have been caught, but it fell in. He came into this game just 1 for his last 22. And in those 22 at bats, he had struck out 11 times. So when you're going like that, you'll take a bloop.
Yeah, you'll take anything.
Even though Nava should have caught it. But he will take it. 2-2 the count on him. Ball 3.
I really like the fact, though, that Davis will take his walks. I like the fact that the on-base percentage for a lot of these power hitters is up this year.
And Davis goes down on strikes. Back-to-back Ks, 2 down.
Well, steady diet of off-speed pitches. And this fastball probably looks like 110, 90-mile-an-hour heater. Really tailing away. After some sliders, split fingers, change-ups throughout the at-bat. Finally gets a fastball on the final pitch for strike 3.
7 Ks already for Tropiano. Jonathan struck out his first at bat. Ball 1 outside. Scope looking to extend a hitting streak to 8 straight. Jonathan has 33 hits in his last 19 games.
Man, I knew it was hot. I didn't know he was that hot.
He has 11 multi-hit games in that span.
That's impressive.
Gets ahead 2-0. Tropiano was drafted by the Astros back in 2011. And as a college pitcher, he moved through the minor leagues somewhat rapidly. Getting a chance with the Angels in particular because of all the injuries they've had. But he pitched his way into the rotation. Towards the hole, backhanded there by Simmons. A long throw gets him by plenty. And 3 up, 3 down go the Orioles here in the 4th. So the pitchers are in command. Gallardo goes back to work protecting a 1-0 lead. To the Orioles game, and Chris Davis is having a Gold Glove caliber first half.
Oh, he sure is. .995 fielding percentage this season, and you're seeing some of the most athletic plays a first baseman in the game is going to make. I mean, incredible athlete Davis is, but what has separated him this year is his consistently, fundamentally sound on just routine plays, whether it be a regular ground ball or picking balls in the dirt from his infielders. He has actually saved probably double-digit errors for his infielders this year, digging balls out of the dirt. Great athlete and a big-time first baseman right now. Power and defense.
He's so good at those low throws that he has to short hop. And a strike taken by Giavotella. Bandy and Simmons will follow. And that's a drill that I know you've been a part of as an instructor at spring training, the fungo bat drill.
Sure. Yeah, well, the biggest thing, and Bobby Dickerson preaches this with all of his infielders, is have the ability to try to get your eyes as close to behind the baseball as possible. And if you want to be a good first baseman as far as picking balls in the dirt, you have got to use your legs and get low and try to get your eyes behind the baseball. And Davis has bought into that, and he's worked extremely hard to stay consistent at it. And maybe once or twice a series, you'll see him out there with Bobby Dickerson. Dickerson will rifle balls across with the fungo bat. Tough picks that he gets down on. Sometimes he'll have a catcher's mask to protect his face just to get as low as possible.
Well, the hard work in Sarasota certainly is paying dividends.
Sure is.
And they do some drills during the season to stay sharp and stay fresh. 1-2 on Giavotella. Bounce towards Manny. And one down here in the fifth. Let's get a look at our PNC minor league report. PNC for the Achiever and you, and a lot of excitement in the low minors for Afelki Peralta, right-handed pitcher.
Yeah, only 19 years old, and see the 5 innings he threw the other night. No hits. Well, no hitter. The game was called after 5 innings due to the bad weather, but outstanding outing. 8 strikeouts, only the 1 walk. He's got a 5-4 record with a 3.45 earned run average. And how about this? 75 2/3 innings pitched. He's only given up 61 hits this year in 16 starts. So pretty impressive job by the youngster.
Bandy fouls it back. Fan in the first row of the club level with a glove missed it, but it hit his seat and fell right to him. He missed it with the glove.
Knock it down, keep it in front of you. Nice play.
There you go. Left center field, that ball's trouble. Back towards the bullpen it goes and bounces against the wall. Adam plays the carom. He's got to play at second base. Here's the tag. He is out at second base. Adam Jones guns him down. He played the carom perfectly. Bandy never stopped, and Adam gave Scope enough time to make the tag.
Boy, what a play by Adam Jones. I love how he plays that wall, creates some momentum. Jonathan Scope, one of the best tagging second basemen in the game. Look at him how he creates the momentum, body already going into the direction of second base. And the awareness, knowing that Bandy's going to be pushing it for 2. Jonathan Scope getting down low. Look at the left foot. It is anchored on the base. Another great pick by Scope, and boom, tag right back down in front of the bag to get Bandy. Huge play by the Orioles defense.
Yeah, the tag applied just before he got the left hand around.
Tough pick that he came down with as well. Wow.
And good work there by the umpiring crew. Mike Everett, the third base umpire, had to get down there to make that call. Here's a base hit in the left field off the bat of Simmons. He's thinking too, and then he puts on the brakes as Ken gets it back in.
Oh. Oh, Jonathan. I love it. I love it. This is the kind of stuff that goes unnoticed. Big leaguer right there, taking his time. I got my base hit, turns his back, and Scope fires a missile over there, almost catches him sleeping. Nice heads-up play there by Scope.
So Adams' play even bigger. Scope having fun.
I'm smiling about it, but wouldn't be smiling if it was the 3rd out of the inning.
And of course, they're both from Curacao, so they know each other from home. Here's Yunel Escobar. He'll take a strike. Simmons is 2 years older than Jonathan, but they certainly are friends. Been a big week for Jonathan. He saw Hanley Jansen, the Dodgers closers from Curacao in Los Angeles, and now Simmons here with the Angels. And Gallardo has now given up 3 base hits, but the play at second base for Jones and Scope getting Bandy, that was big. Instead of having 2 on and 1 out, there's 1 on and 2 out.
Such a huge play by Adam Jones. And you sense that a runner is going to be pushing it, and you have an opportunity to throw somebody out. How many times have we seen outfielders in the game rush their throw and they end up either pulling it or it sails up the line a little bit? Very composed, took his time. He knew what he had in front of him, executed it perfectly. A little help with Scope at the end on the pick, but a great Gold Glove play by Adam Jones.
And you mentioned him taking his time. Wayne Kirby certainly liked what he saw. Adam knows this field so well. He knew how to play that count.
Oh, he sure did. What great positioning, man.
Three and one. So Gallardo again got ahead of a hitter 0-1. Now it's 3-1. Protecting a 1-0 lead. Fairly economical.
Yeah, I think very economical for Gallardo.
Runner goes, pitches it right back to Giovanni, and he'll get it to first and get out of it. So the Angels, despite a couple of hits, do not score, and they strand one as Gallardo gets out of it. So Adam Jones playing the carom perfectly, barehands it, fires to Scope, and Bandy's out at second base. Orioles baseball on Masson is brought to you by Southwest. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. And by Navy Federal, proudly serving the armed forces and their families for over 80 years. Federally insured by NCUA. Big crowd at Camden Yards. As you look in by Utah Street, flag court there. Jonathan Scope having a real good day defensively. He bailed out Hardy on that ball that ate up JJ. And then he's made 2 outs at second base on tags, 1 on the stolen base attempt. And then on Bandy trying to stretch a single into a double. JJ struck out his first at bat on a pitch he thought was inside. That is a base hit. Mike Everett thought about it. He almost put up the wrong hand. Hardy's trying for 2. Here's the throw. He is safe at second base. And Yunel Escobar is pointing to the bench. That ball was foul. Mike Everett initially was going to say foul, then he turned around and said fair.
Oh, Scioscia's out there pointing down at the dirt right now. I thought they were supposed to just ask for a rebound play. Oh, my goodness.
Well, how could Scioscia know if the mark there is the mark off Hardy's ball?
Right. Whoa. See the chalk flag?
Yeah, I saw chalk.
Yeah.
If chalk comes up, it's fair.
It's got to be on the underside of the base there.
Scioscia's been at this 17 years at the big league level. He knows how to make a point.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. And he's one of the managers, the old school managers that, you know, misses this opportunity to go out and go face to face with an umpire.
Now, while he's out there arguing, of course, his video folks are looking it over. And there doesn't seem to be anything on the bench that would suggest they're going to challenge this. So they must have seen the chalk as well. I see Dino Ebel, his bench coach, there. But we saw the chalk, and if we saw chalk, it's a fair ball.
Look at that. Hooking down there. Definitely. I don't know. I can tell. Might get caught chalk.
Well, something bounced up. So the call will stand, and Hardy has a double as he hustled against the arm of Daniel Nava. And they're going to pinch in the corners and up the middle, play it straight away. The reason that play is not challengeable is that you can only challenge a fair or foul ball in the outfield. That ball had not yet reached the outfield. So it is the umpire's call, and it stands as called by Mike Everett, who is the crew chief. So that's why the Angels on their bench did nothing, because they knew they couldn't. Oh, 1-1 on Joey Rickard, who's going to try to get Hardy at least to third. We're in the 5th, and the Orioles clinging to the 1-0 lead. Hardy's base hit, the 4th for the Orioles in this game. Joey shows bunt, takes low.
Nice block right there by Bandy.
Now that, in this situation, is a really good play if he could bunt it to third base, because at least on that pitch, Escobar was holding back. He was going to stay and cover third base. So if Rickard can bunt it to third, he has a good chance to beat it out.
Well, that's what the goal is in this situation. Direction's crucial in this play. You can bunt it hard as you want, really, to third base. Just get it there.
Trying to go to right field and fouls it back. .72 pitches. For starters, you'd like to be at 75 through 5 innings. Gallardo is just above that, and so is Tropiano. And a foul. Scioscia did not agree with the call, but he was reacting more to how Escobar reacted, I think. Trusting his player that he saw it the correct way. And Rickard down in the count, 1-2. Popped up foul wide of first. Choi is over, and he runs out of room. It's in the camera well, and then bounces up into the crowd.
Well, Joey getting his battling shoes on, choking up a little bit. He does not want anything to get to the catcher. It's close.
It's amazing how deep Mike Trout plays on every hitter. And he's got tremendous speed and the ability to go back on the ball. There's got to be so many balls that fall in there because he is so deep. And look, he's almost on the warning track.
Yeah, well, some outfielders, and we've seen Mike Trout. I mean, he can do it all really in the outfield, but might be just a matter of feeling more comfortable coming in on a baseball than rather going back.
A lot of room in left center field. You see Mike is shaded over towards right center. Yep, there's Nava. He's there. There's a ton of room out there in that gap. And Rickard down in the count, 1-2. Here's Hardy at second, a leadoff double. Upstairs, good take, 2-2. This is a big game for the Orioles after losing last night. Blue Jays have lost, so an Oriole win, their lead will be at least 2, which means they will be in first place at the All-Star break. Popped up the breaking ball. Foul ground. Tropiano's there. Here comes Choi, and the first baseman has it. So Rickard unable to move Hardy along, and 1 down. Let's get a look at the upcoming schedule, brought to you by Mile One Automotive, offering you 20 convenient locations throughout the Baltimore area. Visit us in-store or online at mile1.com. Finale tomorrow at 1:30, WJZ as well, then the All-Star break. And we're back at it next weekend in Tampa. Night games on Friday and Saturday. Saturday an hour earlier at 6. And then Sunday on WJZ as well at 1 o'clock. 3-game series with the Rays. Here is Caleb Joseph. And a swing and a miss. The Orioles have such a difficult time moving runners along. And we saw in that at bat, Joey Rickard trying. We saw the swing. It almost, to me, should be, you know what, if you can't go that way, just do your normal thing and hope you move them along.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's what it's got to be. And most times, hitters that don't have success in situations, a lot of times they're too aware, I guess, of the situation. They try to do too much instead of stay with. I mean, to hit a baseball, bottom line is see it and hit it. Yeah, might want to try to drive the ball to the right side, but if your approach is staying hard to the middle, which is what Scott Coolbaugh preaches to this team offensively, and that's where they're going to have the most success, then your game plan should be that. Bottom line, no matter what the situation is, I'm thinking hard to the middle, and nothing will have to vary because you're going to have success if you treat it that way.
1-2 on Caleb, who struck out his first at bat. Tropiano trying to work around this leadoff double. The way the outfield is defending the Orioles, that helps out Hardy. Hardy on sharp singles is usually not a guarantee to score from second base, but they're so deep he probably will if Caleb can get a base hit. He's down on the count, a ball and 2 strikes. And he strikes out again. And the struggles continue for Caleb at the plate.
Yeah, he's not seeing the ball very well right now, and I don't think he's feeling very comfortable with his bat speed, so cheating a little bit. And the front side leaks, and struck out earlier his first at bat. That front side leaving, exposing that outer third. Same thing happening here.
So 2 down. Tropiano is an out away from getting out of it. And he does have to get past Adam Jones, who singled his last at bat. It's a big run out there in this 1-0 game. Scope talking with Rickard about that at bat. Joey's a good listener.
Oh, absolutely.
Got to give him credit. He knows his place, and he knows there are a lot of people here with more experience at this level that are trying to help him. And he's had a real good first year. What's interesting about that discussion is Scope is younger than Rickard.
Right.
So you can't even say, come here, kid, I got to give you some advice. I mean, Joey's older than him.
Right.
1-1 on Adam.
Well, it's nice that they're open enough to talk about it.
Oh, sure.
I mean, really, that's the only way you're going to grow, and it doesn't matter how many years you have in the major leagues. Even a young player might have a secret or something that might trigger an idea in your head or remind you of something.
Shallow right field. It hangs up for Calhoun, and he puts it away. So the Orioles strand Hardy at second base. We are through 5 at Camden Yards. 1-0 O's. Hero today is Linda Jordan, a retired executive recruiter and Navy wife from Crofton. Linda started volunteering for the USO in July of 2014, and since then has volunteered for more than 1,600 hours at BWI Airport's USO. Her family is also a sponsor of midshipmen from the Naval Academy, and their very first mid was Orioles pitcher Oliver Drake. We thank Linda Jordan, who inspires us through her commitment to providing those serving in our nation's military the welcome home they deserve. And if you'd like to nominate someone to become a Birdland Community Hero, go to Orioles.com/heroes. Cole Calhoun leads off in the 6th. Check swing, and he went too far, 0-1.
There you go. That pitch right there kind of exemplifies what Gallardo's been doing. Now, this Angels team has been showing patience, and Gallardo puts that fastball just off the plate, but he's been so close to the plate. Calhoun thinks he's going to ambush him right there, and he gets away with strike 1 on the check swing.
Trout on deck, and then Pujols. Over but low. Very close pitch. There have not been a lot of opportunities in this game, but the Orioles just missed a big one there with the leadoff double by Hardy, and he never left second base. Rickard popped foul to first. Caleb struck out, and then Adam Jones flied out. 2-2. That's the pitch that Gallardo strives for. The fastball at the knees on the outside corner. So 2-2 on Calhoun, who has walked and bounced out. All 3 upstairs. This is not the guy you want to walk with the 2 hitters that follow. Trout and Pujols both serious home run threats.
Now, we talked about the numbers that Pujols has off Gallardo. Well, up over 400.
So another 3-2 count here to an Angels hitter. And a high foul back out of play. It's going to come down below in the lower bowl. And Calhoun about to see the 7th pitch in this at bat.
So with the way Gallardo's throwing and hitter, you see the pitch track. A couple pitches away, a couple pitches down in the zone, a couple pitches up and in. You're just constantly guessing.
Bouncer into the shift, and it gets past Machado for a base hit. So that time the shift worked against the Orioles as Calhoun found a hole. Well, the Orioles taking care of business against teams with losing records. That's what you got to do.
Absolutely. You see with a winning percentage of .481 versus teams with above 500 record, but teams below 500, .742. They are certainly taking care of business. 5.39 runs per game, but even with teams above 500, .496 runs per game. Pretty impressive right there. Those better teams, they are taking apart the starting rotation. You saw that earned run average way up.
So Gallardo now 3rd time through the lineup. Trout's 0 for 2. Well, Buck Showalter was talking about at his pregame session with the media today. Somebody asked him about the lack of the consistent starting pitching and how a start like last night can mess up the bullpen with Obado going only an inning and a third. And he said, well, that's why Mike Wright was here just in case. And as it turned out, we needed him. But he said what they're looking for is a starter. There's a strike on the corner, 2-1. Is a starter to get through 7 innings so then he could go to Brock and Britton and call it a day. But he hasn't been able to get that.
Right. Well, that would be ideal. I just don't see it happening. It just doesn't happen enough in the game today where starters get to the 7th inning.
Jason Garcia on the left just called up today. And a strike to Trout. Well, Orioles starters, Mike, they've had a tough time all year. Most starts of less than 6 innings, so not getting through 6. 46 of the Orioles starts less than 6 innings. That's the most in the American League, and they trail only Cincinnati and Milwaukee overall in the major leagues. And Cincinnati and Milwaukee are the bottom 2 teams in the NL Central.
Yeah, so you got to do a lot of things right if you're not pitching too well. Unfortunately, the Orioles have offensively, and their bullpen has been very consistent. Kind of covered up that weakness in the starting rotation as far as getting deep, but I think we all know that eventually catches up to the bullpen. We saw times this year where the bullpen was just worn down.
Trout goes the other way for a base hit. So back-to-back singles to begin the 6th inning in this 1-run game. Good at bat there by Mike Trout. On Saturday, July 23rd, first 20,000 fans 15 and over at the 7:05 game against the Indians receive an Orioles batting practice cap. It's a replica cap, and it features the cartoon bird on the popular new all-black cap that is worn this year for the first time by the O's during batting practice. So come on out and join us and get your Orioles batting practice cap. Orioles.com or 888-848-BIRD. Michael Givens now beginning to get loose. So the tying run at second, go ahead run at first. With nobody out, Gallardo would love to get a double play ball here. Dangerous hitter at the plate. Ball 1. Pujols singled his last at bat. It was a bloop to left field. Kim was deep and couldn't get in on it. It fell in for a single. Ball 2. Gallardo getting himself into a big time jam here. 2 on, and he's behind Pujols 2-0.
Yeah, he really has to come up with a big pitch or 2 here against Pujols.
Good speed out there for the Angels. Calhoun the lead runner and Trout the trail runner, not being held by Davis. Upstairs, ball 3. You can understand him being careful with Pujols, but the pitcher's not even close to entice Albert to swing. And a 4-pitch walk loads the bases. The 4th walk allowed by Gallardo. So now the Angels have the tying run at 3rd, the go-ahead run at 2nd, and Pujols at 1st, and nobody out.
And here you go, a little meeting between Joseph and Gallardo. Crucial, the most crucial part of the game right now for Gallardo, as you got to find a way to get an out. And ideally, probably wants to work on the corners, try to get a ball hit to the corner infielders, either Davis or Machado.
16 pitches already this inning, and he hasn't recorded an out. So the Orioles are going to play for double play. They'll let the run score. Manny at 3rd or Davis at 1st. They're close enough they could come home, and here's Nava. And Gallardo, he could use a strikeout, but he has only 2 here today. That ball's trouble towards the corner, and it's off the wall. Rickard plays the hop. 1 run scores. Here's Trout coming towards the plate. He will score, and it's a 2-run single for Nava, and the Angels have the lead.
Well, Nava wasn't going to waste any time. An opportunity with the bases loaded. First pitch, jumping all over it.
And here comes Buck, and that's going to be all for Gallardo.
Take a look at Nava's swing here. Little slider working inside, and he was looking for it. Cleared the hips.
So Gallardo leaves. Tough day for him as he exits trailing 2-1.
Out of the ball game. There were some bright spots for sure. Gallardo helped out, strike him out, throw him out. Good fastball to get Trout and then Joseph. And a big strong throw, but here Gallardo helping himself. Gallardo throwing 5 shutout innings, really keeping this Angels offense at bay until here in the 6th, where he gave up the 2 earned runs. And here the pitch arsenal. You see 61% breaking balls, keep them off balance. The numbers brought to you by Maryland Live Casino. Inside the numbers, take a look at Michael Givens. His pitch arsenal, the fastball 61%. Good heater from the side. Mid-90s with the fastball. Has a slider and change. 248 overall average.
Inside the Choi, 1-0.
The inherited runner stranded for Givens. 14 of 21 at 67%.
Choi just called back up from AAA today. He has walked and he has lined out to right. All the way back to the screen. Here comes Pujols. Now he's in a rundown, and Caleb didn't see. He flipped to the plate. Pujols, if he throws to 3rd, is out. Caleb did not know that he had stopped, and he flipped to Givens.
Well, tough play here for Caleb. I mean, as soon as that ball gets by, he's got to bust it and get a good hop here. He immediately wants to get it to Givens and can't recognize Pujols putting the brakes on, making it back to third. Take a look at the big man. I am not a machine. I am Albert Pujols, and he makes it back to third base.
So 2-0, and the wild pitch takes away the chance for a double play. Givens has really struggled against left-handed batters on the year. Ball 3, not even close. 3-0. Lefties are batting .413 against Givens. Righties just .172.
Yeah, he started to come up with a changeup, something to neutralize the lefties, but hasn't quite mastered that pitch. He kind of works away into the middle of the plate with the lefties.
4-pitch walk. So that'll load the bases for a second time in this inning. Dave Wallace coming out for a chat with Givens. Buck Showalter said before the game, he was asked about Darren O'Day and his absence from the Orioles bullpen, how it's had an effect on the bullpen. He said, well, it hasn't had an effect overall on the bullpen, but it's had an effect on Michael Givens, because he's had to use Givens in situations where if O'Day was healthy, he wouldn't have to use Givens in those spots.
Sure. Yeah, a lot of responsibility has fallen on the shoulders of Michael Givens, and actually a lot of guys in the back end of the bullpen. Most of them have stepped up. It's been a challenge for sure. I mean, you lose one of the biggest arms and most consistent in this Orioles bullpen over the last 4 seasons. I mean, there is going to be an impact, but Brock has stepped up. Bundy has stepped up. Britton's been solid.
Breaking ball for a strike to Giavotella. He's so much more comfortable against right-handed batters. The Angels are a heavy right-handed hitting team, but it's just a coincidence that Choi, the first batter he saw, was a lefty and wasn't even close to throwing a strike. Givens last worked on Wednesday. He was the winning pitcher in the 14-inning game in Los Angeles. He pitched a scoreless 13th, and the Orioles got the lead, and then Britton came out for the save. Giavotella's 0 for 2 in the game. High pop-up, shallow right, may not be deep enough to score Pujols. Rickard has it for the out, one away. Albert doesn't even bluff coming to the plate. So Givens gets a big out. Now if he could get a double play ball, it'll be just a 1-run game. It's 2-1 Angels here in the 6th.
There you go. Caleb Joseph giving him some words of encouragement. He's fired up, says let's go. Not going to back down from this challenge. Yeah, huge situation here.
So here is Jet Bandy, who has singled and grounded out. Bases are loaded with 1 down. Now the Orioles back at double play depth. Ground ball towards the middle, deflected off Givens to Scope from Hardy, back to first. Double play! And Givens gets out of it. After the walk to load the bases, Givens gets the pop-up off the bat of Giavotella. Then the 1-6 to 4-3 double play to end the inning.
the world and I can't come down. No, no, I can't come down. This is how it feels to stand on the clouds. The place is here, the time is now. On top of the world and I can't come down. No, no, I can't come down. This is how it feels to stand on the clouds.
Then we go to the bottom of the 6th, and the Orioles in this 2-1 game. Michael Givens really did the job, as after the walk to Choi on 4 pitches, he got a pop up to shallow right off the bat of Giavotella, and then the 6-4-3 double play. Official score didn't feel that Givens deflected that ball, so just a 6-4-3, and Givens got the Orioles out of a major jam. So we go to the bottom of the 6th, and now Tropiano has a lead of 2-1. Unsoo Kim now, he has walked and he has grounded out. And a base hit against the shift. Why shift? If Simmons is playing regular depth, that's a 6-3, 1 away. See you later.
Right. A nice piece of hitting right there.
And instead, the tying run is on, leading off.
And gets a pitch out over the plate, knows what to do. And look at the hole over there. Oh my goodness. Easy target hitting for Kim. Clean single.
It's not supposed to be that easy, but he makes it look easy.
He sure does. He's on his game right now.
Now here's Manny. Tying run on, go ahead run at the plate. Outside, ball 1. Fans now chanting Manny, Manny on his Garden Gnome Day. Strike at the knees, 1-1. Tropiano has 7 strikeouts, excuse me, 8 strikeouts. He got Caleb last inning. And he's only walked 1. Good cut, 1-2. Manny was called out on strikes in the first, grounded out in the 3rd. He has a 3-game hitting streak going. Now down in the count, a ball and 2 strikes with Trumbo on deck. There's Kim, modest lead off first. Check swinging, it's low. 2-2 on Machado. You can see how tough it is on the first baseman, Choi. The pitcher's in a shadow, and then you have the light stanchion with the shadow, and he's in the bright sunshine. So if Tropiano wants to try to get Kim and throws over to first, that's what he's looking at.
Man.
The sun over the third base grandstand. Manny pokes it to right field, but it hangs up for Calhoun. And 1 down. That's a big out there for Tropiano. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Orioles and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Orioles. Orioles rock. Big crowd on hand here today. Here's Trumbo. His home run in the 2nd, responsible for the Orioles' only run. Go to first, and diving back is Kim.
There's that quick pickoff move. Lightning fast feet. Of course, the Orioles, they don't run. They don't run much at all. They're wasting some energy.
Swing and a miss. Well, Trumbo, his 28th home run in the 2nd inning. Most home runs by the All-Star break in Orioles history. Was Chris Davis in his big year in 2013 at 37. Brady in his 50 home run season in 96 at 30. Trumbo and Nelson Cruz each with 28. And Rafael had 26. And he still has the rest of this game and tomorrow.
See his power zone. Covering it all up. And of course that 5th pitch right in the heart of it. That home run ended up 409 feet away, straightaway center.
So the pitcher is in the shadows. The home plate area is almost in the shadows. Right in center field in bright sunshine. Right down the middle. That's where all those off-speed pitches can get you guessing, then you guess wrong and you let it go by.
Absolutely. You know, and there's some funk to this presentation he's featuring. Arms and legs going around, and he's flipped in enough split fingers and sliders to keep the hitters off balance and off the fastball. And everybody's trying to sit on the off speed, stay back, and even the strikeouts he's picked up, 2 of them have been on the fastball, just locking hitters up.
Charles Nagy is pitching coach. So 2-2 on Trumbo. Deep center field. Back goes Trout. He has a play and he makes the catch. Kim was all the way down to second base and he'll retreat. So Trumbo hit it to the deepest part of the ballpark. If he pulls that more, it probably goes out. Right in front of the 410 for the out. And 2 men down. Fans, on Sunday, July 24th, the celebration of the 50th anniversary of the 1966 World Champions continues. First 20,000 fans, 15 and over, will receive a 1966 Jim Palmer replica jersey presented by UMBC's 50th anniversary. So don't miss out and add this to your Birdland wardrobe. Plus, after the game, since that's a Sunday, all the kids 14 and under can run the bases at Camden Yards. For your tickets, Orioles.com or 888-848-BIRD. Well, here is Chris Davis, 1 out of 2 with a bloop single. He's also struck out. Kim chase back. Kim ran in the first inning on a 3-2 pitch with 1 down. It was caught trying to steal on a strikeout throw-out double play. Orioles have only 12 steals on the year. Another throw to first. Tropiano concerned with that tying run at first base. Tropiano should be more concerned with the guy at the plate, who eventually is going to get into one. He's long overdue. Changeup is low.
Well, there are a lot of times where speed can kind of get into the head of an opposing pitcher, but I think he's just trying to steal an out right here. He'd much rather get the cheap out on a pickoff of Kim than having to try to strike Chris Davis out.
We'll want to know the count on Davis. Outside, ball 2. Chris does get his share of walks. He's walked 49 times. However, he has struck out 121 times on the year. J.J. Hardy and Buck. They're staring down Tropiano. 2-0, swinging a high fly ball to right center field. He got under it. Trout battling the high sky has it for the out. And the Orioles strand another leadoff base runner. We are through 6. It's a 2-1 game at the Yard. earlier in the game. It's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite, and the former shortstop here loves the 6-4 threes.
Oh yeah, big time jam, and Michael Givens inducing the double play to Bandy. Get it in Scope's hand, and he cleans it up. J.J. Hardy, tough day defensively yesterday, but a clutch defensive play here. Underhand feed to Scope. Michael Givens, unflappable with the bases loaded.
Oh, somebody's been to Boogs.
It's the Garden Gnome. He's got a Boogs. Walking down Utah Street. It's that Manny Magic dust.
I didn't know the Gnome's hands were that big to carry that.
The magic dust, man. I'm telling you. Didn't you get your Garden Gnome?
Yeah.
You didn't try the...
Well, I gave it to Bonnie.
Wait till you get home.
Swing and a miss by Simmons. Escobar and Calhoun to follow. Ramirez getting loose. Tropiano's at 95 pitches. Center field, there's a base hit for Simmons. So he has 2 out of 3. He's extended his hitting streak today to 11 in a row, and a leadoff single in this one-run game. You can follow Orioles baseball live with the MLB.com at-bat app. Stay up to the moment at any moment with Game Day. Live game video highlights, StatCast news, and more. Download it, MLB.com at-bat, the #1 app for live baseball for your phone or tablet. Follow some of those long home runs by Chris Davis in StatCast. So the Angels lead at 2-1. Now looking for an insurance run. They have the leadoff man on for a second straight inning. Here's Escobar, who's 0 for 3. Go to first to chase Simmons back. So Gallardo goes 5 innings plus 4 batters. Allows only the 2 runs as Givens got out of that jam. So it is the 47th game now. Runner goes. Pitch is swung on and hit back towards the mound. Cue ball. And the throw to first to get Escobar. So by sending the runner, they avoid the possible double play. That's a second consecutive at bat. Escobar's hit a weak comebacker to the mound.
Yeah, that fastball just taken off, up and in. I don't know if that was a hit and run or not. Escobar's been swinging the bat pretty well here recently. There, maybe just to advance Simmons. Every run crucial against this Orioles offense.
Cole Calhoun got the rally going in the 6th with a ground ball base hit up the middle. He has 1 hit and 2 trips plus a walk. Outside, 1-0. And again, here's the effect again, and we're seeing this much too often with the starter not getting deeper. Givens is being asked to pitch 2 innings.
Yeah, the bridge man, become probably the most important pitcher in baseball. How do you get to the back end of your bullpen when the starters aren't getting deep enough in the ball games? And pitchers like Michael Givens, Vance Worley, T.J. McFarland. I mean, that's where the value is, it seems now. I mean, the back end of bullpen's very consistent, very strong. It's getting there. That seems to be the problem with a lot of teams.
Breaking ball stays outside. You're not going to get this team to chase. We've seen it last night, again today. They just don't do it. If you're going to walk them, if you're going to pitch around them, they'll take the walk. There have been 5 walks already in this game. Gallardo walked 4, and Givens walked Choi, the first batter he saw. Fouls back the fastball, 2-1. You know, what's in that can, Mike?
A little sticky spray. He lost his bottom hand on that swing.
So 2-1 on Calhoun with a runner at second and one down. Sharply hit towards Scope. Jonathan will backhand. He'll get Calhoun. 2 men down. Moving to third is Simmons. So now it takes a 2-out base hit or a mistake to get that run in, as Givens is an out away from getting out of this one. 43,288 the attendance today on Manny Garden Gnome Day. And if you like pitchers duels, you're seeing it.
Sure are. Yeah, both pitchers really not giving in, working the edges, mixing in their off-speed pitches.
Trout takes a fastball for a strike. Tropiano is through 6 innings, allowing just the 1 run. A little bit high. JC Ramirez getting loose. Tropiano's at 95 pitches. Not sure if Mike Scioscia's told him, thanks, we'll try to save this for you. He's still there on the bench, the game face on. Strike at the knees, good pitch.
And after he spots up a fastball up and in, a little knee buckler on the slider, and stays on that inside corner.
Too tight with a fastball, 2-2. You can see the aggressiveness with Givens to right-handed batters. I mean, even a hitter with the stature of Trout, he doesn't mind working inside.
Oh, not at all. Yeah, feels good in there. Some front door, that breaking ball.
Just off the plate.
Oh, pretty good pitch there. After working a fastball in, Caleb trying to steal one on the outside corner. It looks like it catches the top of the box there. A good fastball.
Foul back.
Hard slider from Givens, 88 miles an hour. A little tilt on that one. Good pitch.
Well, Trout about to see the 7th pitch in this at bat. The Pujols waiting on deck. And he struck him out. Got a fastball by him. Michael Givens with a big out. And the Angels strand the runner at third. 7th inning stretch at Camden Yards. Birds come to bat, down by a run.
Highlights game 2 of 3 games set for the All-Star break, and the defense showing up again. This one off the heel of the glove, but Jonathan Scope backing up Hardy to make the nice play. Record the out and end the inning. How about this? Sure double, right? Adam Jones in center field, though, and he plays the carom perfectly. Great tag by Scope at second base. And the Orioles defense showing up big today. Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit geico.com for a free rate quote.
Well, the Angels with a 2-1 lead, and the Orioles looking to get the lead back here in the bottom of the 7th. Wouldn't you know it, one of those days where the Orioles get good pitching, as Gallardo and now Givens have combined to hold the Angels to 2 runs. And on the other side, Tropiano's held the Orioles to 1.
Oh, he sure has. And he's doing it with a great mix of off-speed pitches. And the Orioles offense, if there is an Achilles heel, it's a guy that has in command his slider and his changeup. And that's what Tropiano's done in this ball game, really neutralizing this Orioles offense. They have had a couple opportunities, but this is a late in the game team. This is where they're at their best, 7th and 8th and 9th inning.
Yeah, and the big play was the double play to keep it to a 2-1 game. Tropiano now done for the day.
Yeah, 6 strong innings though. Only the 1 earned run on the board. Took him 97 pitches to get to that point, but pretty strong night for Tropiano. He'll give way to J.C. Ramirez. A fastball 72% of the time. That breaking ball 26% of the time, and the occasional change up for Ramirez. He does have a power arm, 95 to 100 with the fastball. Only 1 win, 5.63 earned run average, so mistakes have been made. 276 opponent batting average, and he's given up 7 long balls.
So he'll go to work on Jonathan Scope. Hardy and Rickard are due to follow. Jonathan has a 7-game hitting streak on the line, and going off the bat, an off-speed pitch. So a 2-1 game. Ramirez, one of 7 right-handed relievers in that pen. Same pitch, same result.
Located pretty well, down and away. Good numbers there. 7th inning or later, 298 to 7 home runs, 22 stakes.
Line towards the gap, and that ball is in there for a base hit. Nava playing deep, has to play it on a hop. How many base hits does Jonathan Scope get on 0-2 counts? It's incredible how he jumps on mistakes.
Oh, you love it. Staying short here, though, with the 2 strikes. Up and in fastball. It's coming in hot as well. And he just shortens up the swing. This fastball is supposed to be down and away, but you see how tight the hand stayed to the body. The awareness of where the bat head is. He'll pick up a clutch single here in the 7th.
Here's JJ, doubled his last at bat leading off in the 5th and was left stranded. Strike on the corner. See the shadows and the outfield deep. Infield a double play bet. Brad Brock getting loose for the 8th. And down and away, 1-1. And there's Joe Smith, the veteran, is having a good year. And a toss to first. Now, J.C. Ramirez was picked up on a waiver claim from Cincinnati on June 26, so he is very new to this team. And you look at this arm, and you wonder what the Reds were thinking when they have the worst bullpen in the National League. And there's a base hit to left field past the dive of Simmons. So the Orioles have 2 on. The tying run is in scoring position, and the go-ahead run is at first.
Well, you know, every organization needs arms. They need good arms, but Knock on Ramirez, just too many mistakes. More of a thrower than a pitcher. So mistakes will be made. Hardy jumping all over one, smoking it by Simmons.
Let's get a look at our Coons.com league leaderboard, brought to you by Coons.com. Over 2 million vehicles sold and counting. The Orioles exactly where they want them.
Absolutely leading in the come from behind wins. Orioles with 26. Rangers right there 26. With the Yankees, Astros, and Twins on the list. The league average 20.
Here's Joey Rickard. He's going to bunt. He takes low. See the Angels expecting a bunt. It looks like they have the play on with Escobar staying at third. First baseman Choi ready to charge, so the second baseman has to cover first. Up and in and nearly hit him. How did Joey get out of the way of that?
Well, that heater taken off, and Joey sticking the nose in there, trying to get that bat out in front of the plate. Watch this fastball take off. Look out.
Even the umpire closed his eyes.
There you go. Good position behind the baseball, recognizing the height and taking it as well as he can.
2-0, he bunts right back to the mound. They had a play at third. He goes to first, and the Orioles just got a break. That bunt was too hard right back at the mound. They had a play at scope. Ramirez elected not to go there. So the sacrifice successful. Tying run at third, go ahead run at second.
Well, a lot of times it's just the ability of the pitcher. You want to know your customers. Does he have the ability to make that play? Didn't look like he wanted it at all. Took the sure out at first base.
Well, here's Matt Wieters. He'll pinch hit for Joseph. Caleb was 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts. Angels have the infield in. They want to cut off this tying run. Wieters is 0 for his last 9. Good chance to break out here. Fastball for a strike, 0-1. It's a pinch hitter, 219 with 5 RBIs. Tropiano is still his game to win unless the Orioles tie it. Fly ball, shallow center. Trout coming in, and the catch is made by Simmons. He just saved a run. And Drelliton Simmons, wow. Trout was so deep, Simmons went out and made the over-the-shoulder catch. 2 men are down.
Pretty impressive play right there, and quietly coming up with some huge gems here. This one, Trout all the way back on the wall and makes the running over-the-shoulder play. Wow, what a catch by Simmons. Of course, a couple years ago with Atlanta, the Platinum Glove is the best defender in the National League. Bringing his talents over to the AL.
So Ramirez made a good pitch to Wieters, who popped it up, but it nearly fell in. And here comes Scioscia. And we're going to get Joe Smith to face Adam Jones. So the Orioles had first and second, nobody down. The sacrifice, and now the great play by Simmons. So it's second and third and 2 down. O's down by a run. Here comes Smith in the 7th.
Take a look at his pitch arsenal. The fastball 63% of the time. Not an overpowering fastball. High 80s with the heater, but it's that sidearm presentation. Good sinker slider combination. Occasional changeup. Has picked up a win. 4.60 earned run average. Actually slid into the closer role for a little while, picking up the 6 saves. Opponents hitting .257 off of Joe Smith. He's given up the 4 long balls. And he's been perfect with inherited runners stranded.
Can the Orioles get that tying run in from third with 2 men down? Schoop is the lead runner, Hardy the trail runner. Hardy represents the go-ahead run. Tropiano on the bench, nervously watching. And here comes Adam Jones. Smith, by the way, on the year does not have a wild pitch. So the runner at third in a tight spot. That's the first column you look at to see if he may snap off too many and bounce it, but not so on the year. So why does Mike Scioscia go to Smith in this spot? Maybe because Adam Jones is 1 for 10 against Smith.
I'm sure that had a lot to do with it.
So second and third and 2 down. The Orioles looking for the elusive big hit.
Yeah, they could have used 1 or 2 in yesterday's ball game, and now in today's game, eluding them.
That's a balk. That's a balk, and the tying run comes in. Wow! So a big hit or a mistake, and there's the mistake.
Huh. Wow. Wow. We'll take that one. There you go. There's Joe Smith, pressure situation.
How did that happen? He just flat out dropped it.
Didn't have the grip of the baseball.
And now this really helps the Orioles out. Look at that. He just dropped it.
Man, he went in and tapped, and he just lost the grip.
You know, Buck Showalter was talking about pitchers and not being able to get grips on the ball despite humidity, because apparently the rosin bag is not as effective in weather like this. So maybe he just didn't have the grip.
Quite possibly.
I don't think I've ever seen that, though. Heel denied on the check swing. So now, with Hardy at third, Tropiano has a tough luck no decision.
Man.
Now Hardy easily can score on a base hit. Low ball 2, 2-0.
Boy, you make a tough mental mistake like that, you got to somehow regroup the troops.
Ball 3.
They're letting him do that all on his own. So he's out on this island called the mound after the balk, a tying run here at Camden Yards. The pressure's on. Nobody's going to go out and even talk to him. Got to settle him down a little bit, don't you?
And Adam took all the way, 3-1. So that run is charged to J.C. Ramirez. Hardy at third is also the responsibility of Ramirez. Schoop comes in to tie the game with 2 down on a balk. And time called at the plate. The umpire's looking up at the production booth. Either there was some errant audio or something on the scoreboard. 3-1 the count. Inside ball 4, and Adam takes a walk. So Smith comes on, balks in the tying run. Walks Adam Jones on 5 pitches. And now with Hardy at third representing the go-ahead run, Adam at first, Hyun-Soo Kim has a chance to get the Orioles the lead. He singled his last at-bat against the shift, and this time Mike Scioscia, oh, you're not going to fool me twice. No shift against Kim this time. They're playing straight up. Breaking ball for a strike, 0-1. Tim thrives late in games. Base hit gets the Orioles the lead. Outside, it bent around the plate. Well, the balk has energized the crowd a bit. Here's Hardy at third, the go-ahead run. Adam at first. Too tight. 2-1.
Now Smith more troubles this year against the lefties, like most sidearmers. Touched him for 3 home runs out of the 4 he's given up.
And another breaking ball for a strike. Hit the outside corner. 2-2.
Pretty generous there.
And he struck him out. So Kim got behind. He took 2 pitches that were very hittable pitches. And here's how the Orioles tied it before he threw his first pitch to Adam Jones. A balk by Joe Smith. We are tied 2-2 as Stokes scores. We head to the 8th. On Masson is brought to you by PNC Bank, for the achiever in you. By Royal Farms, ATMs are surcharge free. Get your cash for nothing. Bank or credit card fees may still apply. And by Ocean City, Maryland. Let us show you a good time in Ocean City, Maryland. Book now at ococean.com. 2-2 game. Here comes Brad Brock.
Now Orioles getting the back end of their bullpen, and Brad Brock earning his first All-Star game selection. He has been dominant out of this Orioles bullpen. Many think he could be a closer on any team in the game. And Buck Showalter happy he is the setup man right now. Electric stuff, dominant command, fastball mid-90s, sweeping slider, turbo change, and his numbers have been incredible. And take a look at these all-star numbers. 5 wins, 38 games. This is 39th appearance, .95 earned run average, couple saves, 56 punch-outs in 47 and a third innings. Opponents hitting just 148.
So it is his job, Brad's job, to keep this game tied. He's facing a tough one here in Pujols, 1-1. And hope the Orioles get a run in the bottom of the 8th and then give the ball to Britton for the 9th. Real good breaking ball. 1-2. Lined right to Hardy. He hit it right into the shift and 1 down. Big out, retiring the first hitter in a tie game.
Change up there from Brad Brock, and he gets a good part of the bat on it, but Orioles in the full shift. Left side just filled up. Orioles infielders, that one right to Hardy.
Here's Daniel Nava, who drove in the 2 runs for the Angels on the bases loaded single off the wall in right field. Rickard played it perfectly and held it to a long single. Inside with a fastball, 1-0. Albert upset. How dare they put that shift on with me hitting. Almost strided into that fastball.
Yeah, Brad creates quite an angle on the lefties. Really why he's been so effective. Sets up in the middle of the rubber, but cross body delivery. Tough on both righties and the lefties.
And a foul ball, 2-1. Navas found himself a home with the Angels. Former Red Sox outfielder, first baseman. And that's going to be a base hit. Adam over to try to cut it off, to hold it to a single, and he will. So Nava has a 2-hit game. He's been on base 3 times, and the go-ahead run is on in the 8th. And we're going to get a pinch runner. Todd Cunningham is going to come off the bench and pinch run. And a little more speed sent in by Mike Scioscia. Matt Wieters, as you see, is now in the game. He pinch hit for Caleb Joseph, so Matt behind the plate. Another throw to first and just missed getting it.
That was a quick snap throw from Brad Brock. Almost had him. Long lead. Way out there. Over that back corner of the base, wisely. They're just trying to slap it down there on him. Almost had him.
Buck thought about challenging, but the video control said don't. And there's a strike. Ji-Man Choi just called up today. And here he is in a big spot in the 8th inning with the go-ahead run on at first and 1 down, facing a tough pitcher in Brad Brock, who's put together 9 consecutive scoreless appearances. Runner at first and 1 down. Another throw to first, and again getting back in. And foul back the other way, 0-2. Cunningham, by the way, does not have a steal all year. But as the go-ahead run, Brad Brock keeping him close, and also to keep the double play in order. He's only been in 8 games.
Well, he's getting a pretty long lead, a one-way lead. Quite possibly.
He was just recalled on Wednesday. Upstairs with a high fastball, 1-2. With Brock on the mound, there have been 2 steals against him, and they have not caught one. They are keeping Cunningham close. There's his career. He's 2 out of 3. And can't get around on the fastball.
Now steady diet of heaters from Brad Brock and trouble catching it out in front. Do not want to do him a favor right now. Keep pumping the heat. Working the top of the zone.
Well, 1-2 on Choi. Upstairs, 2-2. Arbol still upset at that line drive. And he struck him out, went right at him with heat. 2 men down.
Well, best fastball, 95 miles an hour. Wieters wants it away. Brock executes. Good heater there. A little bit of movement on the outside corner. Second out.
Well, Choi is retired. 2 men down, and here is Giavotella. One and one on the swing and the miss. The ball popped out of Wieters' glove, and he didn't know where it was initially. It was right at the feet of Giavotella.
Well, the firm changeup right here. Giavotella out in front a little bit.
Where is it?
Track it down.
Get out of my way, Johnny. Right now, the only player that really is affected by the sun is Joey Rickard. And he is in the bright, bright sunshine in right field. Look at that. The infield is completely in shadows now, so a ball hit out to Joey is going to come out of the shadows in the sun up above the third base grandstand. Swing and a miss, 2-2. Now, even though that's 88, that was the changeup, right?
Oh, yeah, that's filthy. A little risky on the inside corner, but you're seeing that thrown more and more to right-handed hitters. The change up fastball inside, and you have the movement that Brad Brock has. It's okay in there.
Well, the fans into it. 2-2 to count on Giavotella. Throw to first, and again Cunningham has to dive back in. The Blue Jays have played and lost. Tigers beat Toronto 3-2. Boston has just defeated Tampa Bay 4-1. So if the Orioles can win this game, they'll have a 2-game division lead with 1 game to go before the break. Top foul out of play, a little late on the fastball.
A little surprised they haven't sent Calhoun yet. I mean Cunningham. Calhoun. Nice thing. He's a right fielder.
Yes, he is. Ron Renneke, the third base coach. Former Milwaukee manager, now back with the Angels. Runner goes, 2-2, is taken for a ball, throw to second, the tag, he is out at second base. What a throw from Wieters. Sosha on the field, they want to look it over. For the moment, it's the third out of the inning.
Unbelievable backhand pick from Matt Wieters, and another great tag by Scope. Look at the position, the big man getting down into the legs. He got him, man. He slid into his leg. Looks like the hand went into the knee.
Oh yeah, he's out.
Wow.
And they're not going to challenge. The video room shows that he is out. So the caught stealing ends the inning. We head to the bottom of the eighth in a 2-2 game. You can join us tomorrow as the Orioles and Angels wrap up this three-game series. It'll be Chris Tillman on the mound against the Angels' Tim Lincecum. Our coverage on MASN 2 and WJZ begins at 1 o'clock with O's Extra presented by Southwest. And then game coverage at 1:30 on MASN 2 and WJZ. We've got all the access you need right here on MASN. And there's a look at the pitching matchup.
Yeah, here we are. Tim Lincecum. This will be his first trip into Camden Yards. Looking for his second win. He was just picked up May 20th. And, of course, Tillman stops ace.
Manny Machado against Smith takes ball one. Now the feeling here in the booth is that Manny's going to do something here because it's his gnome day. And when they give away your garden gnome, you usually hit a home run to win the game. I mean, that's just how it goes, right?
That's right. That is right.
So Zach Britton getting loose for the potential save after Manny hits the home run to give the Orioles the lead. And takes ball two down and in.
Well, a couple good quiet takes there from Manny. Nothing leaking, no tell at all. And that's sometimes the fear. And late in the innings, tie ball game, guys get a little big. You see the front shoulder pulling out.
Line drive, base hit to right field for Machado. So he gets a possible rally started with a leadoff single.
Take that for sure. Pretty nice piece of hitting. Try to do too much on the sinker ball. You're going to roll over all day long. Manny pulling the hands inside. Watch the bat head stay through the strike zone. A nice long finish. Clean base hit to right center.
Well, here's Mark Trumbo, major league leader in home runs, and he hit one here today in the second inning for the first Orioles run. Real good breaking ball for a strike. Trumbo thought it stayed inside. Jordan Baker felt it hit the corner. Trumbo's 2 for 4 against Smith in limited appearances. Same pitch. Boy, that certainly is a freezing pitch for Joe Smith. He froze Kim on a couple last inning, and a very good hitter at the plate. Frozen on back-to-back breaking balls.
Yeah, tough pitch. Really, I mean, starts it off right at the hitter.
Off the end of the bat, center field. Troutover has a play. And he's got it for the out. Manny bluffs tagging the draw throw. And here's Chris Davis. Todd Cunningham, who pinch ran for Nava, stays in the game in left field. So Manny at first with one down now. Chris is 1 for 3. He had a blue pit in the second inning that should have been caught by Nava, but he was playing too deep and couldn't get in on it. Ball 1 outside. Davis is 2 for 4 against Smith. Not sure what Jet Bandy was talking about there with Jordan Baker. There's Fernando Salas getting loose now. Outside, ball 2.
Yeah, Angels defense giving Davis a bit of a different look as Simmons slides back over on the shortstop side of second base. So really only Giavotella second base. Typically it's flooded, the right side of the infield flooded with infielders on Davis.
Manny chased back. Ball 3. Chris being very patient. He looks like he's seen the ball really well today.
Well, I think he should just come right out of his shoes right now, no matter what. You got 3 tries.
See it, hit it.
Crusher. 3 tries. Go get it.
Bounce in the right field. There's a base hit. Machado's going to make the turn and head to third. As Cole Hula's over towards the gap. So a ground ball, but it found the hole because Manny was being held at first base.
Yeah, and the shift not implemented here against Davis, so just a better opportunity to sneak one through the right side, and he does. Manny Machado, good base running on third base. There you go. Looks like a pretty routine ground ball, but the first baseman does not bounce off. Troy to fill up the hole. He just stays there at first. Giving Davis the knock.
That was a real good angle on that replay from right field. As that ball went past Manny, you saw him look up. He was looking to see where Calhoun was. And when he saw where he was, he never stopped.
Yeah.
So very alert base running by Manny. So here's Scope. Chance to give the Orioles the lead. 1 down. They'll play for a double play up the middle. Foul back. Pretty good swing. Scope single leading off the 7th on an 0-2 pitch to get that rally going, and he came in on a balk by Joe Smith. With only 1 down, even a fly ball deep enough can get that go-ahead run in. Davis would be an insurance run at first if he could come around. Line drive, base hit center field! And the Orioles have the lead. Machado scores on the RBI single by Scope. The Kings of the comeback have done it again.
Oh, and you love the fact that they did it with 3 singles. What a nice approach there from Jonathan Scope. Trying to ambush the slider, and it scares Smith off the breaking ball. After a healthy cut, and here the sinker staying on the inner third, but you got to have a sound approach. If you want to pick up the single, he does. Pulling the hands in tight again, staying hard to the middle. Clutch base hit for Scope.
Pitching change at Camden Yards. O's have the lead on the base hit by Scope. Gnome Day, gnome place like home, no one like Manny. Oriole Magic, Manny Magic. Or gnome one like Manny. Well, there's no one like Manny either.
Well, Fernando Salas out of the Angels bullpen. We'll try to pick up this second and third out of the inning. See his pitch arsenal. Fastball 61% of the time. It's a slider and change for Salas. 3 wins with a 5.18 earned run average. You see the opponent's hitting .255 overall. Lefty's way up to .306, and he's given up 8 home runs. 14 of 17 inherited runners stranded.
Hardy checks his swing, but it's a strike. So the O's now look for an insurance run. Davis at second, Scope at first. Jonathan with a 2-hit game. His 25th multi-hit game of the year. Zach ready for the save in the top of the ninth. Back through the legs of the pitcher. Giovatella's there to save the day, and he gets it to first. There's a double play to end the inning. Right through the legs of the pitcher, and Giovatella was there for the 4-3 double play. We are 3 outs away from a win. Zach coming on looking for a save. By Southwest, transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. And by Chesapeake Employers Insurance, a workers' compensation insurance company. Well, the Orioles have come back after falling behind 2-1 in the 6th, and now they hand the baseball to their closer for the final 3 outs, looking to even up this series.
Well, Zach Britton, take a look at his pitch arsenal. The dominant fastball 91% of the time. Occasional breaking ball. Didn't really need it. One of the best sinkers in the game. Mid-90s with the fastball. .76 earned run average. Has a couple wins, but 25 for 25 in his save opportunities. Holding opponents down to just a 161 overall average.
And he gets to face the lower third of the lineup. Here's Giovatella. And a strike. Zach last worked Wednesday in Los Angeles to earn the save in the 14-inning game. He also earned the save Tuesday against the Dodgers. That's low, 1-1. So he certainly is rested, having Thursday and Friday off. Last night with the Angels' big win, he didn't even get up to get loose. Giovatella has seen Britton twice. He's 0 for 2 against him. And chop foul, 1-2. Orioles, Mike, with a 3-2 lead. Their 8 8-22 on the year when they score 3 runs or less. That's a .267 winning percentage. And they haven't won a game scoring 3 runs or less since June 14th. That was the last time they beat the Red Sox 3-2.
Wow.
It is very tough to win in the American League when you don't score at least 4. Just low. Looked like Baker wanted to call it a strike.
Oh, good try. Pretty impressed by the take. Giavotella, how do you not offer it that? There's an oak there. 97. Looks like it was going to come right across the top of the knees. Of course, the trap door. Good scouting on the fastball.
Rounded towards Hardy. 1 down in the 9th. Fans, visit MASNsports.com/CareFirst and vote for today's CareFirst Fearless Player of the Game. Live fearless with the name trusted for over 75 years. CareFirst Blue Cross Blue Shield. A lot of choices today, but Mr. Scope got the go-ahead run in with a base hit.
Yeah, actually crossed on the balk as well. Tie the game. So big part of the final 2 runs.
Are you suggesting he forced the balk with alert base running?
No, but he did get a base hit to get on base and get the 3rd.
And a swing and a foul straight down off the bat of Jet Bandy, the catcher. Britton in his last 25 appearances has a win and 19 saves. He's ahead of Bandy, 0-1. Out straight back, 0-2. This would be his 26th save. He leads the American League in saves. Slow ground ball towards 3rd, and it goes foul. That was actually a break for the Orioles. Even with Manny's arm, I'm not sure he would have been able to get Bandy. That's a typical kind of hit against Zach.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Britton does typically get hit. It's infield singles. They just chop that sinker down into the ground. Typically a little softer out in front of home plate. These balls that die on the grass. And the infield aware of that. So anticipating the chopped balls from Britton.
There's some trouble out in front of home plate. It looks like the front of the plate might be exposed, and Jordan Baker, he pushed some dirt there with his cleat. It's not something you see every day. 0-2 the count on Bandy. And the dirt back to the screen. And the Orioles, who play so well at home, 31-14, 2 outs away from their 32nd home victory and their 50th win of the year. Right back to Zach. 2 down. The Orioles would become the 4th team to win 50 in the American League. The Blue Jays, on the verge of falling 2 games back of the Orioles, have 50 wins, but they also have 39, now 40 losses. They lost today, so they'll be 4 down in the loss column to the Orioles. The Indians have 52 wins, and Texas has 54. And Andrelton Simmons, 2 for 3 on the day. Ball 1. It's unlikely Zach will get a chance to get the save in the All-Star game because the Royals manager is bringing his closer.
Right. He might get the win. Well, of course, Brock might get the win.
1-1 the count on Simmons. They just have such a hard time squaring up these pitches.
Yeah, well, you don't see it. It's a short arm delivery from Britton that comes straight from the back of his head, and it gets on you quick. I mean, it is a short, quick arm, and the movement is really what separates him.
A little bit low. Orioles with a run in the second, a run in the seventh, which tied it, and a run in the eighth to get the lead. The Angels got their 2 runs in the sixth, and let's not forget the job done by Michael Givens. He did not allow an inherited runner to score after he came on. That ball's cued slowly towards second. Scope has to hurry, gets him at first, and the ball game is over. And the Orioles pull it out. Jonathan Scope, what a game for him. Scores the tying run on the balk, gets the winning run in on an RBI single in the eighth. Our final score at Camden Yards as the Orioles even the series. Baltimore 3, Los Angeles 2.